Alright, it's time for the review of the Fender Champion 50XL. Let's see how it sounds in the mix. Welcome back, folks. This is Shane. Today we're doing a full review of this. This is the 50XL amplifier from Fender. This is a solid state amp with also some digital effects built into it as well. Let's take a look. All right, here's the amp up close. We get a clean channel over here. We can then select this button here, which will get us onto the second channel, which also has its own clean channel with this all the way down here. And then we can start getting into some different voicings plus effects. So clean and compressor, then we get crunch, and then crunch and overdrive, British, plus British and distortion, and then middle, and then octave, which I totally forgot to film in this video. I totally apologize for that. I can't believe I missed it. I shoot this part at the end. Anyway, we're over to this part here, which is the 2-band EQ. So we get a treble and a bass control. This is the effects level, which works with this. So no matter where you have this, this is basically the amount of the effect that you will hear, aka the mix control. And over here we have a tap tempo button. So if we're on a delay, tremolo, or vibratone or something like that, we can just keep tapping this at any speed we like, nice and slow or nice and fast, and you'll see the light flash, and that's the kind of speed that you'll be able to hear out of the amplifier, which is great. We also get an auxiliary in and a headphones out. It's good to see Fender using a decent speaker in amps like this. We get a Midnight 60 from Celestion, which actually sounds pretty good. It's a G12N-60, so yeah, no generic sort of special design speaker. In this one, we actually get a Celestion. Celestion make good stuff for those who don't know. One of the great things about this amp is this. It's actually pretty light. It might not be quite as light as the Fender Mustang GT 100 amplifier, but man, in my opinion, it has a much more 3D sound, and we'll get to that at the end of the video. But overall, I think some of the sounds in here are good. Some of them aren't really for me, but that's the cool thing about it. There's sounds in here, hopefully, that everyone will enjoy. A massive thanks to Sky Music in Melbourne, Australia for letting me borrow this. I appreciate that. If you want to find out more about them, links will be in the description below. There's also some Sweetwater links over in the US as well. Now, I'll give you my thoughts about this at the end, but overall, it's a pretty cool amp, so let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna start with some dirty tones, like you heard in the intro clip, but I've turned the delay off and we're gonna be running some reverb. As you can see, we're on the British and distortion option on the amplifier. This button's pushed, so we're using this particular channel here. We have the treble down, the bass up, the effects level at about 10 o'clock, which is corresponding to the reverb. So let's give this a shot. This is bridge pickup. Yeah, all right. Man, that's a gnarly tone. I dig it. And now over to the metal setting of the amplifier. I've just mixed up the EQ. I've turned up the treble, backed off the bass a little bit, and completely removed the reverb. I'm not much of a metal player, well, at all, really, so here we go. The sustain is off the hook on this thing. These drive tones are wicked. Now over to the T52 from Harley Benton. This is all stock, minus the reliquing job. Anyway, we're over to the Crunch Plus Overdrive setting, which is kind of like a bluesy tone. Even though I've got the gain cranked up on the actual amplifier, there's a whole lot less than what you just heard before. Let's give this a shot. We'll start on both pickups. This next one's clean, plus a compressor. Even though we're on the second channel, which is the drive channel, it also has a clean setting that you can double with this compressor. Compressors work great with clean tones. Let's give this a shot. We'll go to neck pickup. So what the compressor's doing, if you're not familiar with them, it's basically bringing down the dynamics when I pick hard and bringing up the quiet parts when I play soft, giving you more of a constant sound. Let's now go over to just the clean channel and we'll see how it compares with the volume at about 12 o'clock. One of the cool things about the amp is, while it's slightly brighter with the clean channel on its own, you don't drastically have to change the EQ, which is great. To my ear though, I just want to sort of back it down on the top end, just that little bit. And bridge. And for those who are into Strat tones going into a clean amp, let's see how it responds on bridge and middle pickups. And back to clean plus compressor. Let's take a look at the onboard effects. As you can see, we're on reverb and I've got the effects level up at 12 o'clock, which means the mix is going to be pretty prominent. And I wanted to do that just to show you how it sounds. So here we go. This is neck and middle. So that's quite a lot of reverb. The trail hangs around. If you wanted more, you could simply turn it up, which I don't know why you'd want more. Cool, still sounds good. Over to chorus, let's give this a shot. Now, the cool thing is we've got a tap tempo button. We can speed up the chorus. All right. Over to flanger, let's give this a shot. Now you can speed that up or slow it down or make it more prominent. You can do all that kind of stuff with this amp. It's pretty cool. Over to delay and reverb, let's give this a shot on clean. Let's go to neck pickup for this one, here we go. Now if you want to speed that up, hit the tap tempo button at the speed that you like. Yeah. Let's give that a shot on some of the dirty tones as well. Always like a little bit of delay and reverb with some distortion, so here we go. There you go. Over to wah, I've left the distortion on for this one. Yeah, I don't know about that. If you're going to use wah, buy a wah pedal. It's going to sound way better than that, but to get you out of a pinch, kind of works okay. Over to one of my favorite effects of all time, the vibratone, which I've got set up for the clean channel right now. Let's give this a shot. We'll go bridge and middle pickup. This is one of those great sounds for playing behind another guitarist. All right. And over to tremolo, another one of my favorite modulation effects. All right, that's cool. Now if you want to slow that down, we can tap tempo it. If we want to make it more prominent, we can turn up the effects level, same thing. Yeah, all right. So there is one small limitation. I'd love to be able to have reverb on this at all times. Maybe like a separate pot just for reverb. I think a lot of people like to just leave reverb on. Not everybody, but for the kind of stuff that I like to play, having a bit of reverb is always a great thing. But also having some tremolo with reverb on certain points would just make it that little bit nicer. But overall, you get lots of usable effects, no doubt about it. A couple of sort of duds, like the wah wasn't the best in my opinion, but other than that, they all, at least the rest of them, sounded pretty musical, and you could get some pretty good tones nice and easily. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Shane. So what do I think about this amp overall, and how does it compare to, say, the Fender Mustang GT 100? So the Fender Mustang GT is a full-blown digital modeling amp. You need a phone. Well, you don't really need it, but it's handy if you've got your phone, then you can stack effects and all that kind of stuff. If that's what you're into, this isn't the amp for you. This is a very simple amplifier to get as much stuff done as you want just by turning the controls on the front, but it also has its limitations. If you want to be able to stack all kinds of different effects, maybe go for the Fender Mustang, or if you like that amp, or you can go for a Boss Katana or something like that. But in terms of what this does, I like its simplicity. For someone just playing at home who might a clean channel and run some pedals into it, maybe add some reverb and delay, it will do that fine. But what it won't do is you can't sort of stack reverb with another, say, tremolo effect. It doesn't have that option, so that's one of the small limitations about it. In terms of the speaker they've put in this, I really like it. I like the fact the amp is nice and portable. It's definitely not as loud as the Fender Mustang GT 100, which is a 100-watt amplifier. This is a 50-watt amp, but I think this has way more 3D projection in terms of what I'm hearing in the room. Sometimes when you hear these YouTube videos, it doesn't really capture, you know, the full loudness of the actual room. I could mic the room up, but sometimes you just start to hear buzzes and rattles and all that kind of thing too. But in terms of the tones, I got the sustain on this was great, and all I had to do was flick it over to the drive channel and turn up the gain. It's really simple. There's a whole lot of other options on here as well. that you can use if you so choose, but I want to show you how the dirty tones sounded as well as the clean tones, so hopefully this video was helpful. If you want to find out more about this, links will be to Sweetwater and Sky Music in the description below. A massive thanks to the guys at Sky Music for letting me borrow this. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.
If you liked the video you just watched, check out these two on screen.